Weeks later, Alice, unaware of the horrors Gigi had endured, was walking through the tech school when she saw one of her attackers. His name was Roderick, a fellow sailor she had shared drinks with that night. She didn't recognize him. The memory locked away in the recesses of Gigi's consciousness. "Hey, Roderick," she said with a friendly smile. "How are you doing?" Roderick, startled by her casual greeting, mumbled a response and hurried away. But Gigi, watching through Alice's eyes, recognized him instantly. A wave of rage, raw and uncontrollable, surged through her. "You dirty son of a big back bitch," she screamed, her voice a guttural roar that echoed through the hallway. "You sick fuck." Alice, confused and disoriented, felt a sudden shift within her, a terrifying loss of control. She watched in horror as Gigi, her eyes blazing with fury, grabbed a nearby chair and lunged at Roderick. "This chair is going up your ass," Gigi shrieked, her voice a terrifying mix of rage and despair. The chair crashed through the window, shattering the glass and sending shards raining down onto the street below. Security guards rushed in, tackling Gigi to the ground, their hands rough and restraining. Alice, overwhelmed by the sudden chaos and the terrifying realization that she was losing her grip on reality, blacked out. She woke up strapped to a bed, her wrists and ankles bound by thick leather restraints. The room was stark white, the air heavy with the smell of disinfectant. A nurse, her face etched with concern, stood beside her. "Alice," the nurse said softly, "can you hear me?" Alice blinked, her eyes struggling to focus. Where am I?" "You're in the hospital, Alice," the nurse explained. "You had an episode. Do you remember what happened?" Alice shook her head, her mind a jumble of fragmented memories and overwhelming fear. I don't know. I saw someone." "It's okay, Alice," the nurse soothed. "You're safe now. Just try to relax." But Alice couldn't relax. She was trapped, both physically and mentally, in a world that made no sense. The walls of her reality were closing in, the voices in her head a cacophony of fear and confusion. And in the depths of her fractured mind, Gigi wept, her cries echoing in the silent spaces between the altars, her pain a burden too heavy to bear. The military hospital, a place meant for healing, became another battleground for Alice's fractured mind. The first therapist, a white man with a dismissive sneer and a penchant for cruelty, dismissed her trauma, labeling her a drama queen with borderline personality disorder. His words, sharp and cutting, echoed the toxic voices of her past, reinforcing the deep-seated belief that she was flawed, broken, unworthy of help. "You're a manipulative little bitch," he'd spit, his eyes cold and accusing. "You just want attention." Alice, already lost in the labyrinth of her own mind, felt a fresh wave of confusion and shame wash over her. She doubted her own memories, her own perceptions, her voice silenced by the weight of his authority. She would leave his office feeling raw and exposed, the fragile threads of her sanity threatening to unravel. Then came the second therapist, a black woman with kind eyes and a gentle voice. She listened, truly listened, to Alice's fragmented story, her pain, her confusion. She saw through the labels, the defenses, to the wounded child within. "You have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, Alice," she explained, her voice soft but firm. "And you need more help than we can provide here." Hope flickered in Alice's chest, a fragile ember in the darkness. Could she finally get the help she so desperately needed? Could she escape the clutches of her past, the relentless cycle of abuse and betrayal? A transfer to the VA hospital, Captain James Lovell in North Chicago, was arranged. The ambulance ride was a terrifying ordeal for Alice, a cacophony of sirens and flashing lights that triggered a cascade of fragmented memories. As the vehicle screeched to a halt in front of the imposing brick building, a wave of panic threatened to engulf her. But then, a new voice, calm and measured, cut through the chaos in her mind. "Don't worry, Alice," the voice said, its tone soothing and reassuring. "I've got this.